Welcome. For those that don't know, my name is Shelby Paris, and this is the breakdown of my project, To Healing. So starting with what To Healing is about. To Healing, at least we'll start with the title, represents the entendre of a toast to being healed and the journey of healing. This is the yin and yang, the polarity of the project. The whole project itself is about polarity. It's speaking to accomplishments, failures, joys, pains, things that we as everyday people go through and experience. It is a introspective project. I like to look at it as walking on a book. That was one of the things that I talked to, shout out to one of my best friends, my best friend 1B Count. I told him the project itself kind of feels like you're walking on a book. It's sequenced in a specific order, so the climax is being built up to. This is not something where it's sequenced with the intro and then 2, 3, 4 are the bangers and the main ones I want you to listen to. The project itself is specifically sequenced to be this build up and us go through this journey of emotions up to this place of healing. The whole project, in terms of, say, verse 1, verse 2, is written in, say, a polar sense where we start with what may be the id and then we go into the superego. So when listening to this project, I'll say the best way to digest it, if you're somebody that smokes, if you're somebody that does shrooms, takes edibles, whatever it is, I highly would recommend or encourage you to do whatever it is for you to come sit down in the crib, be in a nice, comfortable, calm environment. Allow yourself to relax, settle down into this theta state, this meditative state. Throw the headphones on and then enjoy the journey as we go through, again, this feeling and experience as if we're walking through a book. Let's go through these stories and these emotions and these joys, pains, these depths and these highs of what I would say we all can relate to when it comes to life itself. Some of the people that I would like to shout out when it comes to this project, first is JR, who is my recording engineer. He's who I've recorded all my projects with. Next is Ali, who is my mixing engineer. I want to shout out my brother, who is, say, a consultant to the project. Count, who is my executive producer for the project. My homie Ty, who is somebody that was a great contributor and encourager when it came to the project. And one of my little brothers, both my little brothers really, but Maxwell, shout out to him being one of, if not my biggest fan when it comes to my music. He's had the project for however long and listens to it every day and pretty much tells me, yo, I'm listening to the project right now. Some of the other people I would like to shout out are producers that I got to work with, well, that I used for the project. Young Swisher, Urban Nerd Beats, Oz Status, and Junkie were the 4 producers who made the beats that you're going to hear on the project itself. The project itself, I don't think I said it yet. If I did say it, then we should skip through this. But the project itself, again, if I didn't say it, was written about 3 years ago. So I would like the listener to take this as almost a time capsule, embracing who you are now, who you were then. I want this project to be for the person who recognizes and understands healing, and that healing is, say, an inevitable part of life rather than those who treat healing as a choice. This is for those who understand I have more healing to do, but I've come to a certain place in my journey already. If I was to dial this in more, and my muse and inspiration for the project and what I look for people to get out of it, my muse was Friday Night Lights. With Cole being one of my favorite rappers, the goal of this project was to create and give that same feeling that I had as a young boy going into my freshman year of high school when my little brother just introduced me to J. Cole while we at Hibachi Grill. And I'm just like, oh man, this is this is the greatest thing ever, and just being blown away by the things I was hearing. I want to say it cost me a lot. Who Dat and Premeditated Murder were the main three songs, the first three songs I was introduced to with Cole, and just fell in love from there. Cole was when I was of an age where I wasn't just hearing whatever was hot and going with trends. A little after, when LimeWire started getting shut down, Cole was the artist that I was able to kind of choose and say, all right, this is the person that I know I want to rock with. This is somebody that I relate to most. And the point of this project, again, is to emulate the feeling or recreate the feeling that I got when I listened to Friday Night Lights, the come up, the warm up, and give that to that young boy who is a reflection of me, who's sitting on the bus, going into his freshman year of high school, getting ready to go try out for the team, makes the team, and is just now working his way up to varsity and going through the journey with one goal in mind, is to get a scholarship and be able to play ball in college. So may this be the soundtrack to that person's life, the same how Friday Night Lights was the soundtrack for me. Getting into the track list, the first track is the title track, which is To Healing, which to me really, really sets the theme of the project, with the first bar being, I could take you deeper to my mind where shit is stranded. I think that is an amazing bar to start the project. At the same time, if you a 90s baby, especially, I mean, I was born in 96, so you might have to do a little research. But if you a 90s baby and earlier, you're definitely going to know where these references come from. The samples, I should say. You'll definitely know where the samples come from. I don't want to spoil it, but just from when you first hit play, the sample that you hear, and I hope I was able to do just as good of a service as what the producers of these beats wanted to be done with this project, in terms of this is the flip that I was going for, and this is the idea I was going for. Not knowing them personally, hopefully I was able to do them proud with this. So with the intro itself, I think from the click, as soon as you hit play and you hear that intro that come on, that sample that come on, and then we get to that first bar, I say it really sets the foundation, and we get to ride this wave where from the jump, we're letting you know, again, for those who don't know, I'm an author and public speaker first. My brain naturally kind of works in sequencing and chapters. So we start by laying the whole foundation of, we're getting into some spiritual depths, some psycho depths, some socio depths, emotional depths, highs, lows, all of that. We're laying the foundation in the intro to let you know what we're going to talk about in this project. A great opening paragraph, again, running on top of this book, running through these pages of the book. Next is Run Your Race. Run Your Race is a dedication to my little brothers. The first verse is speaking to my oldest little brother, Jordan. Then my second verse is speaking to my other little brother, Maxwell. And we start off with just referencing just experiences and what it was like growing up for me and him, and what we used to do with life, from playing sports, playing video games, running around Best Buy, running around Burlington Coat Factory. For anybody that was also a hooper, you know what it's like to run down the aisle, dap up sleeves, and act like you in the pregame line and hearing your name called out. So talking about some of those experiences of playing sports and playing video games, and just going through life itself at that age, to now me seeing who he is now, and then into Maxwell of really teaching and giving game, where that's the one I really will educate and give game to. Fun side note, initially a project I was going to do was a voicemail to all my closest family and friends. So this song itself was something that originally was inspired by and to be part of that, where I was going to have a song dedicated to my mother, my father, my grandparents, my little brothers, my sisters, my godparents, and my homies. I was going to do a nice little EP or maybe a full length kind of project, but it was ultimately going to be, like I said, calling, leaving a voicemail, and the voicemail was the song of what I had to say. So hopefully nobody take my idea. If you do, I salute you, because I'm probably not going to do it, just being realistic. But you at least know who had the idea first. So Run Your Race was supposed to be of this project, in which it was a voicemail call to all my family members, telling them how much I love them and appreciate them. So on Run Your Race, again, just the message of a big brother to his little brothers to continue, stay consistent, nonetheless, run your race. After that, we go into the third track, Vent. Vent was something really cool for me. I usually sit and reflect on things to rap about, as in things that might have happened however many years ago. This was something I wrote more in the moment. Vent was written the night after I got the call saying my uncle had passed. An uncle that I referenced to in Damn and some of my other songs. And Vent, this was just nonetheless a buildup of lifing. About 2 weeks leading up to this day specifically of this death happening. And if I'm not mistaken, was the last day of winter solstice. So to my spiritual people who understands what that means, to the last day of winter solstice, all these things that were just kind of happening, and the planets being in Gatorade and whatever was going on. So I wrote this song that night. I actually wanted to go record that night, but JR wasn't available. So I was able to go record the day after. This was one of my fastest songs that I got to write and record. So Vent, nonetheless, is about these 2 weeks and just reflecting on life and just questioning and asking, damn, why are some of these things happening to me, around me? What's going on with life right now? Just this, as we all need sometimes, that paint the picture, the scene for you. You pull up to the river, you cry your eyes out, and you just ask ultimately, what's happening right now? Why is it happening right now? What is this teaching me right now? So Vent is me just getting some of these things out that I wanted to express, and these pains, sorrows, agonies I was feeling amongst these 2 weeks of hardship. Next is Why. Why, which is something fun to me, fun little sidebar. Why was actually originally mixed 3 years ago with Just for Fun, but it made sense to put on this project rather than just kind of throwing it away. Why was actually the first song recorded for this project. I think it ultimately was the Kickstarter for it. I think spiritually it was meant for Why to spark to healing nonetheless, because I don't even remember and can't say if I originally was going to do to healing, but thankful to Why we now have to healing. So Why itself ultimately is questioning and challenging not so much the religion, but the pastor. As we all heard, and we're hearing those stories of these pastors that was out here scamming and taking money from the people. The song itself is challenging and questioning, where are my tithes going? Why do I see you living like this, but we, the people, continue to struggle? What is the church doing, specifically your church, your business that you're running? Why is it not something that is actually contributing to the community and actually helping its members? So with that song, I look to spark for people to open their eyes and nonetheless just challenge the things that are in front of them. I would say a lot of people are on autopilot and we kind of just live off inherited ideologies, which, if you don't know, author, public speaker. My first book, my bestseller, is called Change the Subconscious and Accomplish. And that book is ultimately about breaking down inherited ideologies. And that starts with challenging and questioning what it is that we were told and finding out answers for ourselves. So with Why, it is challenging and questioning one of, if not the biggest figure when it comes to the Black community, which is typically the pastor. Next, we go into Rebirth of Simba. Rebirth of Simba, very sentimental for me. This is me picking up the baton from my favorite trilogy, favorite series of songs, which is the Simba trilogy by Cole, where you have Simba, Grown Simba, Return of Simba. And now here I am with Rebirth of Simba, where, like I said, the project speaking to primarily that young boy who getting ready to go into high school and has these big basketball aspirations. This song is specifically for him. Rebirth of Simba is me speaking on and about a bunch of basketball references. Is speaking to, shout out to all my teammates and everybody I was with from 2010 to 2014 and in those trenches in which pulling up summer league and being an 8th grader, lifting weights for real for the first time, being in that hot box of a weight room that we was in, to eventually going into the wrestling room to do abs. Then we go get on the court. We doing whatever conditioning at the time and to playing. And then the season comes and everybody that I was with out there running 17s in a minute 5, running the line sprints, running these Indian runs, standing on the line and not being able to move until we are told to move. Everybody that showed up and was there when we had to go do bear crawls in literally 0 degrees with snow and frost on the ground and having to run bleachers in the ice, running on the track when it's literally ice out because people showed up late or we just got in trouble for whatever we got in trouble for. Rebirth of Simba, I speak on those moments. I talk about those experiences that gratefully built the character that I am and the toughness that I was able to develop. Shout out to my coaches nonetheless for what they put us through. But Rebirth of Simba is about that. It's about overcoming, taking the hits, getting back up, and continuing on with your journey. Next is Scenic Route. Scenic Route was another song that I wrote in, I'll say, the time, the moment in which something was happening. I got invited to the FC Kerbeck Mobile Auto Show, which is an annual event they do. FC Kerbeck is the luxury car dealership in South Jersey. And shout out to my homie Greg, who's one of the dealers there. Pulled up one day because I love just going in there to just see what's new and manifesting these vehicles I love to have. I'm a big car person. And he's saying, yo, you still got the Porsche? Yo, we doing this on this day. Come be part of it. And it was a great experience. I was able to be next to a bunch of millionaires, a billionaire, if I'm not mistaken, but definitely a bunch of millionaires, was able to exchange information, network with a great group of people. It was pretty funny knowing I only had maybe a couple hundred in my account amongst these amazing people. And they're asking me all the questions about my books and about epigenetics, about psychology, sociology, just the information and things that I study and teach. It was an amazing experience. That night, still inspired, I went to go look at a crib. Me and Sasha went to go look at a crib that we wanted to purchase, or hey, it still may be coming, but a newly built neighborhood down in my area. And Scenic Route was written encapsulating that day. Just the scenic views that we were able to have, the path and journey in which I'm on to the success that I see for myself. So Scenic Route was, again, another fun song that I wrote in the moment and is a song about taking your path, following your journey, putting yourself amongst around and seeing your version of success for you, not what somebody else has of you. Next is I Just Want to Be Free. I Just Want to Be Free was one of my favorites to record. I think it's probably the best song I've been able to put together. This one is a conversation with the id and ego. And for anybody who's also struggled with mental health as I have, you know what that voice sounds like and what that id is like in your ear, ultimately telling you to do things that other people would be so disappointed if you were to do. So I Just Want to Be Free, I think, is the greatest example of what this whole project is about in terms of polarity. I Just Want to Be Free. It starts with that questioning and thinking about reflecting on the past and reflecting on why these events happen, i.e. watching my mother have an aneurysm, my uncle's death, rest in peace to one of my best friend's mother, Miss Vicky, or I give my shout out, my love to her. My father being on COVID and just thinking about that night or that day when he called me and saying, yo, I don't know if I'm going to make it. So just the weight that everything was in life itself is what that first verse is. And these things that were just stuck on my brain, nonetheless. Just, again, things that I experienced that I wanted to flush out, along with things that anchored me some, thoughts and pains, emotions and feelings that were harbored. And then that second verse being the newness that I think of, the newness that I look at, the optimisms, the beauties, the blessings, the prosperities of life, and now speaking to what it is that I desire of life to be, rather than sitting in these sorrows of what life was. That's what I Just Want to Be Free is about. From there, we go to not the official last song, but track number 8, which is Reflections. Reflections, as I Just Want to Be Free was the id talking to the ego, we now have the super ego, which is in Reflections, the super ego talking to the ego. And the song starts off with, who I'm supposed to trust if people keep freaking hating. I think I already said shit earlier. So who I'm supposed to trust if people keep fucking hating? How we supposed to grow if you keep being jaded? So it's the back and forth conversation of the ego still having some resentments, still having resistance to things, to life, nonetheless. But the superego saying, yo, we letting all that go. All this crying, complaining, bickering, pity that you might have, I hear you, but we moving forward from it. We letting this go, we flushing this out, and now we focusing on this. Where one of the bars is, I used to ask why, now I only ask how. So we're focusing now on moving forward, focusing on the how do we move forward? How do we progress? How do we succeed? How do we accomplish all the optimisms in which we're working towards? And this is what Reflections is about. And then lastly, we have the bonus track, but fits so perfect into the project, Mother Gaia. Mother Gaia, and Gaia ultimately being the earth. This song was inspired by another Cole song, which is, I want to say it's called Be Free, but it's the I'm in the now, and all we want to do is take the chains off. All we want to do is take the chains off. All we want to do is be free. All we want to do is be free. So Mother Gaia is my version of that. It's me speaking to and holding this mirror up to us, the parasites that plague the earth, who just take. And it's me saying, sorry, Mother Gaia, for how we've treated you. Sorry for how we treat you. Sorry for sorry for our actions. Sorry. I can't say sorry enough. If we were to just look at how we treat the earth, the arrogance in which many of us carry, to just from something smaller, as in just throwing trash on the street, to how we've plagued the oceans, from trash to oil, and just this beautiful earth and land that we don't know if we have any life outside of this, yet we treat it as if it owes us anything. It was here before us. It'll be here after us. It seeks to provide us everything we want, yet we treat it as if it's doing nothing for us. So Mother Gaia ultimately is me speaking on behalf of the humans, I guess you could say, of I'm sorry and it's challenging the listener to look at themselves and think of how they've tainted, nonetheless, our mother. Shout out to Sue Surf. One of my favorite bars that he ever said, it was how we treat the trap better than mommy's house. And I think that's something all of us should really think of. Why is it that we treat these places? Hell, when you go to your friend's crib, why is it that you'll wash your dishes there, but you don't wash your dishes at your own crib? Why you make sure to clean up your mess over here, but then you treat your own crib like a pigsty? I think that's something we all should think of for ourselves, and Mother Gaia, again, is challenging us to do that and for that. So as we get to the end, something I thought would be cool and thought would be a question, so I have it written down. Favorite to record. My favorite song that I recorded was Scenic Route. Scenic Route, you can actually watch a video on my TikTok when I recorded that. Scenic Route was one of my favorites to record because this was one of the first songs I didn't rush to do, even though I wanted to go record it that night. Just timing, things getting thrown off a little bit. I was able to take like a week to practice and actually recite the song before going to record it. And I felt such a difference when I was recording, which then after that, I just want to be free of reflections of Mother Gaia. I took the time to recite and practice before going to record. That way I wasn't reading off my phone so much. I write. I don't know what anybody else is going to tell you, but I definitely write my bars. I like to sit down, think, I go back, clear out, write again. I want to make sure I'm saying things and that every bar is able to hit. I want each, just like how my writing is. Shout out to ChatGPT, something I definitely encourage all writers to do. Copy an excerpt or copy a tweet or something that you've stated before. Put that in ChatGPT, ask it to describe your writing style to you, and also what of your personality it takes away from your writing style. And for me, it was saying that you're a very strong, intentional writer. You're a very efficient writer. You say a lot with little. So the irony with me making these videos, and shout out to Ty and my older brother. My older brother was the one that told me I should make videos and tell people about the projects and tell people some of the things that me and him would talk about. And then my homie Ty telling me you should make videos and explain what it is you want people to receive out of what it is you're doing, because a lot of people won't get it. And I understand as a new artist, most people aren't seeking you and they're not thinking about coming into this new artist and actually enjoying them. You got to make people want to listen to you. You got to make people want to hear. And I know one of the best ways of doing that, again, coming from selling books, tell the story, draw and create the connection with people, show the transparency, the vulnerabilities, tell people why they should hear you, tell people and show people what connections can be drawn to and with you, which is what this is. Again, the project to healing is about all of us. We all have accomplished so much. We all have so much more to accomplish. We all have our individual journeys. May this be a track list to everyone on their journey, something that you can come back to and be inspired when you need inspiration, be supported when you just need the support. May this be an audio hug to you when you're feeling lost and feeling down. May this be that best friend that tells you you meant for that. You meant for that success that you doubted of yourself. That's everything. So, all the niceties. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, in the description, please come follow me on Instagram, TikTok, X. That's all of them, right? Threads. My name is The Shelby Paris across all of those. And if you're on any of the socials, YouTube is Shelby Paris, Paris with 2 R's. I don't have a stage name. My name is my name. Again, author, public speaker. So my brand was already built off my name. So there's no reason to change it. Plus, I love my name. I always felt like my name was to be something. I always felt like I was to make something of my name nonetheless. So again, I thank you for listening. I thank you for watching. Please tap in, stay connected for the next episode. And on the next episode, I will break down and talk about the short series, this short series that some of you guys have already been seeing and some of you guys will now go see, and why I did that and what that's about. So again, thank you. I appreciate you. Please click all the descriptions, links, blah, blah, subscribe, follow, all that stuff. Truly appreciate you taking the time to listen. This is To Healing.